to start a podcast.
Alpha, lead us escape. Recruit a team of
Podcasters
with attitudes.
All new Culture Cast. All new Culture Cast. All new Culture Cast. All new Culture Cast. I'm Nick.
And I am the Gorehound.
And this is the all new Culture Cast. And this week we are looking back at a classic TV show now made into a movie, The Power Rangers.
Yeah, season 1, original Power Rangers.
The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yes, which looks so old now compared to everything.
Yeah, I've been watching a couple of random episodes here and there, and it's tough to get.
Yeah, I did the same thing, and it's really weird to think that this was like huge in my life, and now it's like, man, I can't imagine my parents watching me watch this.
Yeah, it was quite the cultural phenomenon when it started in '93, but we'll get to all that here momentarily. Let's go to one of our favorite features. What have you been watching?
What have you been watching?
I will start off. I have not been watching a whole lot. I have been watching Iron Fist on Netflix.
How is
it? It's in the same universe as, Daredevil and the others. So it's got that feel to it. The kid is like completely frustrating. He's stupid and immature and apparently like full of wisdom. It just doesn't make sense. And it's I don't know where the story's going. It's really weird, but it's on par with the rest of the gosh, what do we call like the difference between like Luke Cage and it's like in the same genre as the rest of the TV series.
Is it as bad as they say it is? Because like it's like on Rotten Tomatoes it has like 11% or something, like really low.
I wouldn't say that, because I think it's probably just as good as Jessica Jones, which I didn't really think was that great. It's weird because they all kind of hold their own against each other because they're in the same universe. They have a few connections. Well, actually, at this point, Rosario Dawson is pretty much the only connection between all four of them. But maybe I'm just missing something. It's not that bad. I mean, I'm continuing to watch it, unlike the Legends of Tomorrow, which I couldn't really get through. So it's, to me, better than that. But it's very frustrating because this kid is just so stupid, and I hate everything that he's doing. And there's like one fight scene per episode, and it's just like, I want to see more, because it's a comic book. And in comics, there's like always action going on. Enough with the talk. Get something done.
I'm tempted to check that out, mostly because like I want to see, like, it can't be that bad. I never watched Daredevil. I take that back. I saw one episode of Daredevil. It wasn't for me. I have no interest in Jessica Jones whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get through Luke Cage right now. I guess that's kind of what I've been watching. I've been sort of making my way through Luke Cage, which I've been slowly watching since New Year's.
Yeah. Are you slowly watching it just because of your schedule or because it's difficult?
Mostly schedule and other things that I've been trying to, like, different shows I try to keep up with. But I'm on a mission to finish it up within the next week or so.
Okay. I had a difficult time getting through it. It was weird because I had this like initial lull, like, this one is stupid, but then it really caught up to me in that I felt the story was actually like a lot more developed than I had imagined, and it got a lot better for me. at the end. And it wasn't because they did something. I think it was just I started to have a better relationship with each of the characters, and you could actually see the character evolve.
It's definitely a slow moving show.
Yeah, certainly.
So yeah, so I'm curious to see where how it's all gonna wrap up.
Yeah.
But
one other thing that I did watch, which was just like completely out of the blue, was Terminator 2. For some reason, I just like really wanted to watch this, and I did, and it was so much fun. I think I watched maybe like 40 minutes until I had to leave for something, and it was just nonstop. Scene after scene is just solid gold. It's so much fun.
They're supposed to re-release that later on this year in 3D.
Oh my god, I would probably see that, and it's emotional and it's nostalgic. I still think the kid, what's his name?
Edward Furlong?
Yeah, Edward Furlong is like the most badass kid in that. Like,
Really?
I'm still jealous that he was cooler than I was.
Oh, I watched that movie a couple years ago. It's been a while since I'd seen it before then.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wanted to slap that kid so hard.
Oh my god.
Like, I don't blame the writing. Edward Furlong is just terrible in that movie. He's just trying so hard to be like cool and hip.
He is so cool and hip, and he's not even trying. But the one big thing that I've been doing since we last spoke was playing the new game Mass Effect Andromeda, which was just released on Monday, and I've been looking forward to this game for quite a long time. I might have mentioned it before, but I'm a huge fan of the Mass Effect series. I loved playing all three of those games like back to back, and the story was just so unique in that every decision that you make affects everything down the line, even as you go 3 games down. And this one is separate. Have you heard anything about it? Okay.
Other than I know it exists, but
okay. The one thing that people know is that the animations on the faces are just so weird.
Oh, I did hear that. Yeah, I remember. And it was like there was some controversy because someone was attacking the designer who turned out not to be the designer or something weird like that.
No. But yeah,
media.
The animations are just so off. And I thought I would just like enjoy it because it's stupid. Like how big of an impact could like facial animations make? But it really takes you out of the story. And it's just... You forget just how important just these small things are, and my PS4 is just like running like crazy because like these graphics are so sick and these cutscenes are so awesome. At the same time, their faces just aren't moving, or they're just completely exaggerated. So it's really weird. But I'm still playing it because it's a new game. It's Mass Effect. I'll get through it, but it's just disappointing that they like dropped the ball in this one thing.
Well, something to look forward to in the next version, right? Outside of the Luke Cage, I've also been watching a ton of YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Because I'm in charge of putting my wife, the Kiwi, her costume together for C2E2. And she's going to one of the days she's going to dress up as Robin from Batman and Robin.
Okay.
And I've been trying to work on this cape, and I am just terrified I'm going to screw this thing up. So
is it difficult?
Well, it shouldn't be, but to get the right cut, I need to make sure I cut the fabric correctly, because the cape needs to fall like in front of her body just a little bit, and then kind of tailor back to the backside.
Okay.
It's tough to explain, but if you saw a picture, you'd know what I mean.
Yeah.
And if I don't measure this correctly, or plan this right, then it could look like garbage.
Yeah.
And I don't want that to be the case. So I've been watching a ton of YouTube videos, getting ideas like, how can I do this? Because I feel once I get the cape, everything else will fall into place. The shirt's not that hard to do, and everything else, but the cape is going to be the killer aspect. So
I just did some field work with somebody. Ooh, I ended up being in the truck for like 6 hours with. So we talked about a lot. And one of her things was YouTube videos, like how she like really, really likes YouTube videos. And I imagined like she watched as much YouTube videos as I played Skyrim for an equivalent. And it was just kind of odd that I didn't really. I mean, I know that YouTube is like packed with content, and I've even watched like a few series on there. But to get like a big source of your cinematic income from YouTube is pretty different, but pretty cool.
anyway, let's move on to Man Crush.
Yeah.
Man Crush.
Not much to say on this one, but it's still Jeremy Renner. He was
about the Renner.
Yeah. I didn't actually do it, but there was some article where Jeremy Renner like made an app about himself, where this is just all based on my quick skimming of the article, so I may have vastly obscured this, but it's basically just an app where you can like compete for your fandom of like Jeremy Renner. But I didn't want to download it at work because that's where I saw this article. And apparently, like when you download it, it's just like Jeremy Renner yelling at you, like even if you don't give it permission to your speaker. So I was like, I can't do that at work, but I still haven't done it. Maybe I'll do it after the podcast. But yeah,
That's super weird.
yeah. And I don't know. Just after that, I was like, what a guy. So yeah, that's that.
Well, I guess let's get to our podcast, our main topic here, the Power Rangers.
How excited are you for this movie coming out? Not that the new one is the topic of the night, but just to start us off, how are you feeling about the new one?
I'm surprisingly more excited about it than I was anticipating.
Yeah.
Like, I remember a couple years back they said, oh, they're going to make a Power Rangers movie. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But ever since like the preview started coming out over the past couple of months, I'm like, I'm looking forward to this. I think this could be good. I'm excited. How about you?
This one, it looks awesome, even though I know it's not going to be good because the reviews are awful about it. But I'm just happy that they're doing it. Mm-hmm. Because a few years back they had also announced like a new Mortal Kombat movie, and Mortal Kombat is just like,
yeah.
I think I might hold Mortal Kombat higher than this one in my impact on my life, to say. But yeah, cause I heard that they were releasing that, but then it ended up just being like a whole bunch of YouTube videos and then straight to DVD. And I was kind of disappointed because like I can watch that, but I feel like it deserves more excitement than that. And I feel like this is getting the excitement it deserves. Where it's just like, it's embracing how big of an impact it had. And it's trying to, I don't feel like it's trying to one-up it.
Just modernize.
Right. And you can definitely see the currentness of society in it, because there's, of course, an origin story in it. Which is just like in everything, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I know they said like if the movie is successful, they want to make like 5 sequels. Like they want to tell.
Please do. I don't care if it's awful. As we'll get into, this series is pretty awful. So you can't really make anything to live up. You can only like equal it.
That's what's hilarious about when they first announced that they were going to do a Power Rangers reboot movie. That the internet like just lost its collective shit. Yeah. That they're like, oh no, they're going to ruin the Power Rangers. I'm thinking, do you remember how the Power Rangers were? They have nowhere to go but up.
Honestly. Yeah, there's nowhere to go but up in this one, because it's just... I was watching some YouTube videos, and the kung fu and the acting and everything is just so awful. But on some weird, universe, it works.
Yeah.
Like, this is no Sharknado in it, in that I don't even know if, like, they're aware of how bad it is. They're just like, we know kids are going to love this. They're going to eat it all up. Let's just throw it out there.
The interesting thing about the show, especially, well, they still do it now, because it's in its, like, 900th season right now on TV. They're still making new episodes.
Yeah.
That the show, it's such a weird show because they took all the fighting footage from, like, a Japanese show they made years ago, and then they brought in, like, all the US, like, the actors, the kids, and, like, the Alpha 5 and the command center, like, all of that is, like, filmed now. And then they have, like, the actors dub in the lines for when they go to the old footage. So it's just so weird how they made this show.
Yeah. So if you could clarify, I've heard that, and I thought it was just a rumor that all the scenes are basically just cut from some movie. Do you know if that's true?
Yeah, that is 100% true.
Okay.
Like, all the time, the majority of the times when the Power Rangers are in there, when they've morphed, it's morphin' time!
Yeah.
And they're fighting, like, the putties,
Mm-hmm.
or they're fighting Goldar, or
Goldar!
any of the other monsters, or anytime you see Rita and her henchmen on her, like, asteroid moon or something like that.
Yeah.
All of that footage is taken from a Japanese TV show, which is essentially Power Rangers.
Do you know what the name of it is?
I'm not going to pronounce this right, but the Super Sentai franchise, because there's, like, a number of series like the Power Rangers that went on and on and on. Let's see, I'm gonna look it up here. When Super Sentai started in the mid '70s, the stuff that was taken to start Power Rangers was started in '92. So the footage for Power Rangers came from this Japanese show just a few years before the Power Rangers debuted.
Mm-hmm.
But all the new stuff was like when they're in the juice bar.
Yeah.
When Bulk and Skull pop up.
Yeah, that was the name. I was thinking of what the name of those two punks were, and yeah.
So, like, that stuff, they all spliced in with the Japanese footage.
Okay.
So it's so crazy, like, how the show looks like it's 90210, then all of a sudden it's like a Godzilla movie.
Mm-hmm. Not to jump around too much, but the Green Ranger's Power Zord, which was basically like a Mecha Godzilla.
The Dragon Zord.
Oh my gosh, so cool. Gosh.
I love how in every episode is exactly the same. Like, Rita has a plan to destroy the Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
She sends down some putties. They fight the putties. She sends down the Monster of the Week that Finster makes.
Yeah.
And the only reason I remember these names is because I've been rewatching the show.
Yeah. You don't just have, like, a rock solid memory?
No. I mean, like, when I'm watching, I'm like, oh, I remember this now. They fight the bad guy. That comes to a stalemate. And then Rita throws her sword. Make my monster grow!
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And the monster gets big. They call their Zords, and the Zords do nothing by themselves. They always have to combine. So I don't know what the point is having them in separate pieces.
Yeah.
And they which transforms into a guy in a really bad robot suit.
Yeah, the same cutscene forming the Megazord every single time. Yeah, I watched a few eps, and it was like, it really is the same exact scene. And when the transform, or going back to, my 5-year-old self, I was just enthralled with this transformation for some reason. I don't know why. Because, yes, it's the same exact scene every single time.
For, like, a little kid, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And then they beat the monster, and that's, like, the end of the episode. And usually there's some moral or something that's thrown in there. For good measure. But, like, this show, I remember I was let's see, when did the Power Rangers start? It was 1993. I was,
Yeah, I would have been like 5 or 6.
I think I was 11 around that time. Or, no, I was 10. I was going to be 11. So, like, I remember watching Power Rangers and realizing I think I might be a bit too old for this. Like, I was right on that cusp.
Yeah.
Where if I was a year or two younger, this would be right up my alley. And so, like, because I could never quite get into it, I remember a friend of mine who loved it, and he was in my same grade. He got a bunch of the toys and everything.
Oh yeah, all the merchandise.
Yeah, and this thing was. Do you remember the action figures for the show?
I'm sure I had them. I mean, I dressed up as the Red Ranger for 2 years. I know that. With my sister dressing up as the Pink. So if anybody had a Power Ranger toy, it would have been me.
I remember they had, like, quote-unquote morphine. I never had any of them, but I remember my friend had them. And they had, like, morphine action where you could flip their head around, and then you squeeze their legs, and their upper body opens up, and so it flips their real head to their, like, masked head.
Oh, yeah.
To give, like a morphine-type action.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, like, I felt I was a little bit too old, and after, like, the first year or so, I stopped caring.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah, the Automorphin Power Rangers. Where you
is that what they were called?
Yeah, where you squeeze your legs and it like circles through. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a neat feature for an action figure.
Yeah. But it just looks so 90s right now.
Oh my god, yeah, it's like the worst part of the 90s, like the early 90s.
Yeah.
That, like, everything was, like, bright and kind of garnish, and it's like, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I'm glad the 90s quickly got out of that.
Yeah, but it really transforms or brings you back to the 90s so quickly.
Oh yeah, it's so nostalgic. I mean, I think it's the nostalgia that makes me excited about the upcoming movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can we talk about how awesome that title theme was?
Oh yeah.
The song?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about downloading an MP3 for my ringtone or like wake up tone or something like that. I changed out my morning wake up tone like every month or two because it gets old real quick, and I feel like it's a good way to like start the day. Mm-hmm. And so like during the summer, it's like let's party, or like in the like near Halloween, it's like some like horror punk song to like get me in the mood. So I always try to do that. And I was like, a Power Rangers song is like the perfect way to wake up like right now for like the next week.
That would be pretty epic.
Yeah.
That's like a full like 4-minute song.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that, and I was talking to the Kiwi, like, man, if I thought about it at the time, I would have totally had that song play at our wedding. Like, not during any part of the actual wedding ceremony, but like during the dance afterwards.
Yeah.
Just have like, go Power Rangers.
Yeah.
That song better be in the new movie.
No, it'll be like covered by like My Chemical Romance or Green Day or something like that.
Oh, don't even say such awful things.
You know it's gonna happen. We're seeing an origin story. Of course we're gonna have like My Chemical Romance in there.
Does everyone even give a shit about My Chemical Romance anymore?
I don't know. I think they're still around.
I figure they get like One Direction or some other band.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the 6 Power Rangers.
Yeah.
You had and they switched cast like midway through season 2. They like half the cast like left. I don't know if it's contract disputes or what, but the red, the black, and the yellow Ranger all got swapped out for new characters. But
I'm not sure if I remember that.
That's how memorable these actors actually are in their roles.
Yeah. I don't know, because the few episodes that I watched, I think they were all the same. But maybe I was just like so ingrained in the episodes while I was a child that like I just think that they fit in every single episode as they are.
Mm.
But the Green Ranger was switched out?
No, green was the red, the black, and the yellow. About midway through season 2, and
Okay.
I remember watching that episode,
Yeah.
and like they just got rid of them so like haphazardly. It's like, oh, like Zordon's there, like, oh, Power Rangers, you 3 have been selected to go do this thing, and they're like, great, see you later, and they just zap out, and
Yeah.
they bring in like, and here are the new replacements, Bzzz, and they bring in the new ones.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's it.
No explanation whatsoever.
I mean, a very flimsy one.
Yeah.
But I was also sad that because they wrote out my favorite Ranger, the Black Ranger,
Yeah.
Zach.
Yeah.
I liked him.
Yeah.
But who was your favorite Ranger? Was it Tommy?
The Green Ranger, I think. Yeah, Tommy. Yeah, what was the Red Ranger name? Jason.
Jason.
Yeah. Tommy just took it hands down. I didn't want him to be my favorite, but his conversion from bad guy to the White Ranger was just so epic.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just...
I think that's why he's so popular, because he's like, all the others are just kind of bland, and he actually like, he's like cool.
Mm-hmm.
His
character actually developed somewhat.
Yeah. And it also helped that the guy who plays him, Jason, not Jason. Is it Jason? Jason's Lee, or what's that guy's name? The guy's name. Jason David Frank. David Frank. He loved doing the Power Rangers, and he kept coming back for all the future series.
Yeah, I saw that as I searched. It's like he was a few different Rangers. So he stuck around with it longer than I did, because after the Power Rangers movie, I think I started to fade away pretty quickly on this, because that's when there was one Power Rangers movie, right?
There were two.
There
was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie.
Yeah.
Then there was Turbo, a Power Rangers movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. After the first one is when I started to fade away. But yeah, I mean, I could easily see somebody like loving this, because if he seems to be kind of that I don't know, fun-loving, always out for adventure kind of guy.
He's someone you like always want to hang out with, because he's cool, and you're going to feel cool by association.
Yeah, and it's like a solid series where it's going to keep on going, and they have, I think he might be like, yes, the other characters are very iconic. Like Kimberly the Pink Ranger, I think we would recognize right away if we saw her nowadays.
Yeah, she still acts, and she looks, well, I mean, she looks older, but like no mistaking who she is at all.
Yeah.
Same with Zach, the Black Ranger. He almost looks the same too. Isn't it pretty terrible that the Black Ranger was black and the Yellow Ranger was Asian?
Yeah, that's...
I wonder if that was intentional or just we didn't think of that.
No, that must have been intentional, because they really didn't give this thing any thought. They were just like, okay, you go there, you go there, you go there. Okay, cool. And it's just like, I don't know.
I love how... Okay, let me ask you this. Speaking about the characters, at least the original couple,
Yeah.
all the characters had like a personality trait or something that's like, this is this character, this is that character.
Billy's the nerd.
Billy's the nerd. The Red Ranger is sort of like the jock leader.
Yeah, the leader.
The Pink Ranger is like the girly girl.
The love interest.
The Black Ranger is sort of like the funny one, because he kept making jokes all the time.
Mm-hmm. And the black one.
Yeah, and the black one. Okay, you said it, not me. And then the Green Ranger's like the cool one, the edgy one.
Yeah.
What was the Yellow Ranger? Like, what was her deal? Like, what's her I feel like she's not defined at all, other than being
Asian.
the other girl and Asian. Like,
Yeah.
she has no personality whatsoever.
I don't remember, because I didn't care at the time. I was, 5 or 6. I could care less about the girls. I was like, Red Ranger, go, yeah! Blue Ranger, help him out! Black Ranger, follow up! And it's like, I could care less what the Pink and Yellow Ranger were doing, because I had not hit puberty at that point.
I like, there's a running joke on the internet that The Pink Ranger is every boy's first crush.
Yeah. Yeah, that was not my case because I was like, get her out of here.
Girls are icky.
Yeah, dude.
I like how the Pink Ranger has like a skirt on her costume, but the Yellow Ranger doesn't. I think because the Yellow Ranger was like a guy in the original, like.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
But they needed to have like more than one.
Yeah.
Girl on the show.
Yeah, and it's such a balanced team. I mean, like if I were gonna add another character, I don't know what I would add in because they seem to hit like such such stereotypes.
Everyone feels like the necessary stereotype.
Right. Yeah, because we even had like the bad guy, the Green Ranger.
Yeah.
So.
Like maybe the Yellow Ranger, maybe she was like the one who was always. I noticed in the episodes I watched, she's always like the encouraging one, like "Good job, guys," and
yeah.
Are you okay? Like so, maybe that's her personality trait, but
yeah,
I don't know. But
since we're on the topic, I wanted to mention the one personal story, which I think I tell quite a bit. But so, pardon me if you've heard it before. But when I was very little, and I was watching this like routinely, like they were releasing new episodes every week. I was hanging out with.
I was hoping you were going to tell this story.
I was hanging out with one of my friends, or I'm like I said, like 5 years old or something. I'm hanging out with my friend down the street, and we're playing. But my mom had told this guy's friend or this guy's mom that like he watches Power Rangers, so if you wouldn't mind like watching it at this time. And so we go down to watch, and apparently my friend like didn't watch it, but his mom was like, well, no, Kyle wants to watch Power Rangers, so let's watch Power Rangers. He's like, no, I don't want to watch Power Rangers. And his mom made him. So his mom is just, my friend is just like sitting there crying, watching Power Rangers. And I'm like, I think I'm having fun right now. I don't really know what I should be doing, but I'm 5 years old, and I'm just like, it's just one of those stories that will stick with me forever. And I'm just like,
that is, I love that story. Like if you weren't going to bring it up, I was going to ask you to tell it.
So I just had to throw that out there. I have no idea who my friend is at this point. I
don't remember who he was.
Yeah, I just remembered that story. So.
Oh, that's unfortunate. We should get him on the show.
Yeah.
Like, so why'd you hate Power Rangers?
Yeah. If any of my friends at 5 years old are still following me, please send us an email.
I want to talk about the writing on this show.
Yeah.
I will notice. I have noticed something. Like I watched the first 2 episodes, and they're so terrible.
Yeah, and it's all dubbed over.
Well,
when they're in their costumes.
Oh yeah, that they're always dubbed when they're in the costumes. But like, just like the non-Japanese, like the Japanese stuff was the best part of the episode because, But I will notice the writing did get better as it went along. The acting was still very shaky, but
and I would imagine that because you're getting more money, I presume, as the episodes are going on because it's rising in popularity, and you're not going to switch out for better actors. You're probably just going to hire like better set design or something like that. So yeah, I could see that.
But yeah, at least the writing got better. Like the show wasn't as it got somewhat deeper and more complex versus Rita's doing something bad. We must stop her.
Yeah.
But I'm in the midst of watching the Green with Evil series where they introduced Tommy for the first time.
So you're really watching this through and through.
You know what? I kind of just wanted to rewatch some of that. It's on Netflix, so why not? Each episode's only 20 minutes, so.
Oh, that's pretty solid, yeah.
And it's a 5-part episode, so I'm like, oh, it's kind of like a movie. So I have one more episode to go through with how they.
Yeah, I do remember that was a longer sequence. And did that like conclude a season?
No, it was like in the middle of the first season.
Okay.
But it was like 20 episodes. The first season had like 60 episodes.
Yeah.
I think they aired them every single day.
because they were all just like video editing, and they already had all the content. So they're like, oh, all right, well, let's put this here and this here this time.
Probably. I remember when they introduced Tommy, like they were hyping that up like no other.
Yeah, because he looked badass. Because he was a ranger, but he had that, like, I don't even know what it was, but it was like the chest piece.
Yeah, he had that, like, that shield or whatever that was.
Which looked so badass. And it might have been that we were so used to the original 5 Rangers that the inclusion of any new one was monumental.
Mm-hmm.
And that could have been why. But yeah, he looked different, he stood apart, and he started off as a bad guy. So
yeah. It's I want to see something really quickly. Yeah, and what's funny is you think that the Power Rangers were on for a long time before Tommy came along. He only came along into, like, let's see, about a month and a half after the show started.
yeah.
Like, he came on pretty early overall, and I guess that's how big and how quickly Power Rangers became popular. I still remember, like, ads, like, this week on Power Rangers, a 5-part special episode.
Yeah.
The new Green Ranger, Rita's newest plan to destroy the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And, like, you're like, oh, man, we better watch that, because that's, like, mandatory viewing.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, we should also mention that the Green Ranger is very popular still.
Oh, yeah.
He is. We will probably be seeing him in a month at C2E2 because he is always there.
He'll be joined by the Black and Blue Ranger.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised. I was looking at the panels for C2E2. They're doing a Power Ranger panel with the Black and Blue Ranger, and they're having a separate panel with the Green Ranger. Why
he's
are
so
they not
popular?
all together? I figured I could see him having his own thing, but, like, why not? Just, I think the fans would want to see that, you know?
What a dick.
I mean, granted, this is the only thing he has left in his life, that he just comes to these conventions dressed up as the Green Ranger, but...
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he really wants to move on. As I was saying before, he is like a big MMA fighter, and he's also a big Jesus freak. And I personally hate that he has a tattoo that says, Jesus didn't tap. I think it's kind of... I don't know. I'm afraid if... what's his name?
I just call him Tommy the Green Ranger.
Yeah, Tommy the Green Ranger. If he's listening to this, he might beat me up at C2E2. But it was I just think that's kind of douchey, that tattoo.
How awesome would it be? Like, at least if he did beat you up, you'd be like, I got beat up by the Green Power Ranger.
Actually, bring it on, Tommy. Look for...
I don't see why he wouldn't be listening to this show. I mean, if anything Power Rangers related, he's like, I gotta maintain my career!
Yeah, well, hey, feel free to join us, next episode and defend yourself. Why the Green Ranger still is relevant in 2017.
Green Ranger's a pussy! Supposedly he has a cameo in the new movie.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be looking for that.
I don't know if that's true, but I did read something, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this: Did you see a couple years ago the short film on YouTube with James Vanderbeek and Katie Staffoff, where they had the gritty war version of the Power Rangers?
I think I did. I think I remember that just because you said James Vanderbeek, and that's what I looked up.
I remember when that came out, and I was watching. I'm like, this is neat, but it's also kind of stupid.
Yeah, it's James Vanderbeek, and so it's... I don't know. I think it's a very cult icon.
Yeah, it's very, like... I was surprised how dark and gritty they made it, but I guess that was the point. But the reason I bring it up is I guess some of the Power Ranger actors were asked, like, "What'd you think of that?" And they're being polite, but I could tell like none of the actors actually liked it.
Yeah. You watched
like,
it?
I did, yeah.
I might have to rewatch this because. What would you think of it?
I thought it was an interesting alternate take on the Power Rangers, but I feel like it misses the point of the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Because they're supposed to be like fun and kid-oriented, and here you're having people dying and saying F-bombs, and it's like, there's a disconnect there.
Yeah. I am going to watch this sometime soon because these screenshots, I don't think... I remember seeing it, but maybe I didn't watch it all the way through because it looks badass.
It's a clever idea. I mean, if you're going to do a dark and gritty reboot of the Power Rangers, this is a good way to go and do it. But
that's good.
Yes. So.
Did you ever dress up as a Power Ranger?
No, I never did.
No.
I always thought like. Well, no, I was just at that age. Like I was in the 5th grade when I think the Power Rangers came on. And I was just at that age where it's like I might be too old for this. And by the time I got in the 6th grade, I was like, I'm done with this show.
Yeah.
Not that I really watched it like hardcore. Yeah, I can't watch this. Like I'm like, this is kind of dumb. Every episode's the same.
Yeah.
But
I dressed up as Red Ranger for 2 years in a row, and I was actually going to try to resurrect the photo. Because there's a photo of me and my sister in the red and pink outfit, and we're just standing there still. And I'm going to try to dig it up.
Please do. I will put it in the image for this episode.
Let me text my mom right now, who has that stockpile.
You know, that should have been a group costume for us, the Power Rangers, for C2E2.
That'd be pretty easy, but... It also would... I'm not sure if we could find a legit costume.
I bet if you searched long enough on the internet.
Yeah.
But, so, okay, I want to... Moving on to our next segment here. 'Cause I don't know. I don't know what else to say about the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
This is like a cultural icon, and
other than it's so bad, but at the same time so good.
Yeah.
Plot summary.
Were you there from the very beginning? Like, did you watch the first episode when it aired?
I imagine that I did just because of how much I love this. Yeah, I don't remember anything about it, but I'm sure that if I watched it... Actually, I did watch like the first episode, because I did try to watch it on some streaming device, and like I couldn't get through the first ep. But the first ep, I was like so in. I was like, oh my gosh, I remember all of this. Oh, how about the entrance to the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie?
I've never seen the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie.
Oh my gosh, it has...
Aren't they skydiving or something?
Yes, they're skydiving. Tommy, of course, being the coolest kid, goes airboarding. He's got a snowboard in the air. So badass. And then, as they hit the ground, they like continue running to like this awesome music montage, and it's just so sick.
In that movie they didn't actually use the Japanese footage, and instead they like the Zords and the monsters were CGI?
I would imagine that, because it was like a legit movie, like for American cinemas.
I remember I've seen a couple reviews, and I've seen the images, and the CGI is like that early '90s CGI where it looks terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
like
this
the
is
guy in
when
the costume actually looks better.
Yeah, this is when it would have been like that bad.
It's like this is like not even PlayStation 1 graphics.
Yeah.
But I remember going back to the first episode. I remember watching it on day one. I don't know why I remember this, but I distinctly remember sitting down at my parents' house on the couch and turning on Power Rangers, and I'm like, "Huh, this is a show." I was there when it all began. I still can't believe the show's still on. Like, it changes iterations every couple years, but...
Yeah, and that's what really lost it for me, was that they kept on changing it, and I was like, they're Power Rangers, but they're not the same.
Like, Power Rangers in space!
Yeah, and then I think there was, like, the Nature Rangers. I don't know, it was just...
I know there was, like, the Power Rangers Wild Force and...
yeah, that might have been...
Zeo and Dino Thunder and... all these crazy names.
Yeah, Alpha 5 and Zordon, man. They were a weird group, and the CGI for Zordon was so bad. It just looked blurry, but Alpha 5 was like a dope-ass robot.
Hey, dudes! I like when Alpha 5 tried to be, like, hip, and he always came off as being lame.
Yeah, and he literally was like the epitome of lameness. With his arms, like, flailing all over. And I don't know what I thought he was when I was that little. That seems like an easy cosplay right there.
Alpha 5?
Yeah, just some cardboard boxes and some spray paint, and you are good.
Should be the Megazord with that.
Yeah.
Where do the Megazords hide? Like, they're always, like, you see one coming out from a volcano, another one's coming out from the desert.
Yeah.
It's like, where are they coming from?
All in slow-mo. Yeah, Trini
Like,
came out of the volcano.
Like, where...
Where is this garage
where is
that they can
Angel
store
Grove?
this?
I'm also watching an episode where they have this strange flying car for some reason that gets them to, like, the command center.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did they make this? Did Billy make this? Or, because, like, he should be a freaking millionaire if he made a flying car.
Yeah. But no, he's out fighting putties and Rita.
That's another thing. Like, in the first episode, how bad this first episode is. Billy is, like, just trying to learn, like, kung fu. He's taking Jason's class.
Yeah.
And he's, like, really bad at it. But then he gets the Power Ranger coin, and suddenly he knows everything. He's, like, an expert. It's like, wait a second. No. Fail.
Yeah.
Totally unrealistic.
Yeah, and then when he was in the movie, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, he got, like, a slight upgrade. I think they, like just, like, buffed his head or something, where he looked like they actually put budget into him, but it was still, like, the same exact character. But it was still, like, whoa!
Or he, like, even talked like a robot. I always wish they had a purple Power Ranger.
Okay, yeah, purple would have been... Yeah.
And he could have been, I always thought, like, the Raptor. Like, that could be his, like Raptor! Or Raptor Power, or whatever when he would morph.
Yeah. I do think that they could have had, like, an overweight, or like a small person, Ranger. To, like, fit, like,
Could they have had an overweight Ranger? I don't know how well that would have worked.
He would have been like the cannonball, who they, like, just threw at all the putties, and all the putties, like, flung everywhere. Yeah, he, like, transformed into, like, a bowling ball. I could see that.
I guess if the Japanese had footage of that, then it would have been a reality. Sadly, they only had not that. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
They worked with what they could. They had what they could work with.
Yeah.
But go Power Rangers.
Well, I think we're exhausting this topic.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Are we going to do a podcast on the new movie, or is that
I am totally down for recording, like, a follow-up review of the new one. Trying to stay relevant in society, reviewing new movies.
I know, right? We're what is this about? So, I don't really have any trivia for tonight, unfortunately.
Man, you are dropping the ball.
Well, I guess it's tough to ask a question if I'm only asking one person, but I'll give you some trivia.
Yeah, let's hear some trivia. Yeah, trivia doesn't need to be a question.
It's trivia time!
So, the original Yellow Ranger, I think the character's name was Trinity, or...
Trini. Trini. Trini.
Trini.
Trini.
Trini. played by oh my god, I'm not even going to try to pronounce her name. Trui Trang. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
She died in 2001
Yeah. Oh yeah.
in a car accident.
Okay.
I remember learning this a couple of years back. I'm like, oh my god, she's dead. And yeah, she died September 3rd, 2001.
Okay.
So just a few days before 9/11.
Mm.
But the two are not related, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, she died in a car accident, which is kind of like, oh, that's it's kind of depressing to hear, because that's only a few years after, you know, the Power Rangers had, you know, her time with the Power Rangers had ended. So
Young adult.
yeah, she was 27 at the time. So
Can you imagine being an
there's
adult?
your depressing.
Yeah. Depressing trivia for the night.
Yeah.
But these people were all adults doing this.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Yellow Ranger was like 20 when she started the show.
But hey, it must have been a
I
paycheck,
wonder-
so.
Let's see, the Pink Ranger was 23 at the time the show started. So there's that. Let me see. Let's see, the Red Ranger. Wow, he was like 18, I guess, when the show started.
Okay, so I guess they were still in their teens where they would have been liking a paycheck like that.
Yeah, they were younger, but not like how on the CW they would have like a 30-year-old play a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
I wonder how old the Green Ranger is. See, he was born in 70. He was 20 as well. Huh. Interesting. Since I got it, let me look up. Black Ranger he was 23, so he was a little bit older.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia article, and Bulk and Skull were actually, their real names were Farkas Bulkmeyer and Eugene Skullovich. Hence the names.
I wonder if they actually say that in the show. But
somebody knew it, and so I don't know. So
the Blue Ranger was the oldest of the original cast. He was 24 at the time they started the show.
Okay.
He was born in '69, which is kind of a weird thought to think. Oh, other fun fact about him. In real life, the actor who plays Billy the Blue Ranger, David Yost, is gay.
Yeah.
And I guess he left the show because he was tired of the crew members harassing him on set because he was gay. Like, they would always call him like belittling names and everything. And it's kind of disappointing to hear that is the case, especially in Hollywood when, let's face it, a lot of people in Hollywood are happen to be gay. But
come a long way now.
I hope so. But yeah, so interesting. But anyway, yeah, that's I think that's all I could talk about with the Power Rangers.
We should clarify that we have been talking about, it looks like season 1 and season 2. Is that right?
I think the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers technically were seasons 1 through 3, but the cast we're talking about was in the first season and most of the second. So
okay. Right.
Yeah, we're talking about like classic beginning 1993 Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm. I just want to see just how many seasons there are of the Power Rangers.
I think they go by series after a while.
Okay, so we have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then the Alien Rangers.
Let me see. Yeah, Alien Rangers that was the next one. Those Power Rangers that lasted 3 years, Alien Rangers, and then Zeo.
Oh, then Turbo.
And then Power Rangers in Space.
Oh my gosh, they did this like crazy.
Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed Rescue, Time Force.
The current run is Power Rangers Ninja Steel.
Is that like Blue Steel off of Zoom?
Yeah, and it doesn't look any different.
So, I'm reading the little bio on Ninja Steel. As the 25th anniversary of Power Rangers, Super Ninja Steel will feature popular Rangers from past seasons.
Okay,
So-
some reoccurring, yeah, bringing them back a little bit.
They've done that on the past from what I've been reading. Apparently there was an episode called Forever Red, which featured most, if not all, of the actors who played Red Rangers.
Yeah, just all the red ones.
Yeah. I wonder if it featured the one who like stabbed and killed a guy with a samurai sword.
Oh yeah, we should mention that. So that happened last year, is that right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Let me I'm gonna Google that really quick.
Yeah, one of the Red Rangers, based on what I read, his roommate, the Red Ranger's roommate came back home, and his girlfriend had parked her car poorly in the driveway, and so the Red Ranger got his sword and stabbed his roommate over it. Which sounds legit to me, right?
Well, obviously.
So it's just it's so disappointing that like celebrities do this and feel like they can just like get away. And maybe it's not that he's a celebrity, just that he's, feeling like some entitled person who can do this. But it's just disappointing that people do that.
So the actor is Ricardo Medea Jr. He was the Red Ranger on Power Rangers Wild Force. And according to Wikipedia, on February 1st, 2015, he was arrested after allegedly stabbed to death his 36-year-old roommate. That is so crazy that, of all things to stab someone with, it was a medieval sword.
Yeah.
That's just insane.
Yeah.
How can he... Here's the thing. He, willingly killed a guy. How is he only getting 6 years in prison?
Yeah.
That... I don't get that.
Yeah.
He says he stabbed him in self-defense. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right, well, let's end this thing
Yeah.
before we go on longer than the Power Rangers. All right, Gorehound. I think that's going to do it. So let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
I'm Nick,
I'm the Gorehound.
and this has been the all-new Culture Cast. We will see you next week. Have a good
Adios.
one, everyone. You've been listening to the all-new Culture Cast, one of Chicagoland's finest podcasts.
You're making me fall asleep to death.
Well, I guess there's not much we can do about that. In the meantime, check out our blog at znculturecast.wordpress.com. Send us an email at nick.culturecast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your feedback, comments, and requests. Follow us on social media. Theme music by bensound.com. This has been a Saltwater production, copyright 2017. Thanks for listening. You need to give me your best Alpha 5 impersonation.
Oh, what did... Oh. Ay, 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 ay!